I am KP Carter, the Literacy Whisperer. I inspire children to become reading rock stars. So all you parents out there, moms and dads, grandparents, aunties, this is just for you. Have your child come on in and join and learn some more about Juneteenth. You know, I want to just say, full disclosure, I'm a Jersey girl living now in North Carolina. And would you know, I'm a 35-year educator. I didn't hear about Juneteenth until my oldest son went to Texas to law school. And I'm very glad that I know now. It wasn't common knowledge. I didn't grow up in Texas. I'm not from Texas. But anyway, we're going to talk about it today. By the way, did you get my newsletter today? I shared a lot of information about, just a little bit of information about Juneteenth, things that you're going to want to share with your children. If you didn't get the newsletter, you can click the link in my bio to find out how you can get a copy of it. Okay? All right. So now, today's story time is about Juneteenth. I'm going to give you some background for those of you who may know, may not know, want to know more. So Miss Opal Lee is an American retired teacher. I want to write this down because I make sure I don't want to forget anything. Miss Lee is a counselor, retired teacher, and activist. She is a voice of history with a message for the future. Did you know that now, as of June 17, 2021, President Joe Biden signed Senate Bill S-475, making Juneteenth the 11th federal holiday. So now I'm going to share some children's books. That's what story time is about today. Some children's books that are about, trying to make my screen bigger, children's books about Juneteenth. Okay? So this first one I'm going to share is the true story of Opal Lee. Come on. The true story of the grandmother of Juneteenth, Opal Lee, and what it means to be free. By Faye Duncan, illustrated by Keturah Bobo. I'll show you the pictures, and then I will read to you. How's that? Okay? Happy Juneteenth Jamboree! Come and join the fun. Opal Lee waved to her great-grandson as he barreled across the park. He zipped past lines of picnic tables covered with platters of barbecue, baked beans, tomato tarts, and raspberry cobbler. He hurried past a leaping choir draped in purple robes. He danced a jig with cowboys playing fiddles, but they did not stop his flow. Buddy ran to the blooming tree where Opal Lee held court. Her braided hair was a silver crown, and her eyes were twinkling stars. I'm going to read one more page. Great-granddad dear, great-grand dear, Buddy called, tell us Juneteenth's story. Opal Lee raised her face to the sun as memories of yesteryear filled her vision. Now I'm going to read just one more page because I want you to get this book for your grands, your children, your nieces, your nephews. They need to hear this story. When she had been a Texas, please excuse me, when she had been a Texas bud like the children at her feet, Granddaddy Zach told freedom stories on his wooden porch. As Opal Lee remembered his words, she lifted her hands and cheered, Juneteenth means freedom. And now it's story time. Then Opal Lee began. Once upon a blazing sun, black bodies were brought and sold like earth. Black men plowed the fields, but were not allowed to own the land. Black women cooked the food, but were not allowed to feast on roast and ribs from the master's table. Black children cleaned the one-room schoolhouses, but were not allowed to read or write. This is a beautiful, colorful picture book that you are going to want your children to read and love. They'll learn about the history, and they'll be treated to a wonderful story and great colorful pictures. So pick it up. The name of it is Opal Lee. Let me go back. Opal Lee, the true story of the grandmother of Juneteenth and what it means to be free. And it is written by Faye Duncan, and illustrations are by Keturah Bobo. Okay, here is the cover. Now, one more book I want to share with you. If you have children who are a little older and they are able to read chapter books, this book will be just right for them. It is called What is Juneteenth? The New York Times Bestselling series. Let me get the cover for you. What is Juneteenth? Come on. Here we go. What is Juneteenth? Can you see that? Okay, what is Juneteenth? Juneteenth Celebration by Kristi Jewell, illustrated by Manuel Guitrez. What is Juneteenth? What it was. Now remember I said this is a chapter book. What is Juneteenth? June 19th, 1865. There had been whispers throughout Galveston, Texas, that a paper had been signed, a paper granting freedom to all enslaved people across the southern states. The people of Texas were the last to hear the news that had changed all of the United States. It was 1865, and black people had suffered under slavery for more than 200 years. Most northern states had outlawed slavery by this time. However, in the South, it was legal, and white people with money wanted to keep things the way they were. Although there are several different stories about what actually happened on June 19th, 1865, the one that is most often told, it talks about everyone in town, black people and the white people who had enslaved them, were told to gather at Ashton Villa. It had been the headquarters for the Southern Army during the Civil War, a war fought for 4 long years between the northern and southern states. Some black people at Ashton Villa had hopes that the war might be over. For some time, the North seemed to be winning. Perhaps that explained why there had been sightings of the U.S. colored troops. A unit of black soldiers fighting with the Union Army marching through Galveston. This is a wonderful chapter book. It goes on. I'm not going to read the entire thing to you because I want you to get these books. Okay? So I read to you portions of Opal Lee, and Opal Lee is the picture book, and What is Juneteenth chapter book for older children. Celebrate Juneteenth because our children have the right to read and they have the right to research about our history so that they can become reading rock stars, critical thinkers, and world changers.